Ah, we're on.
All right. Welcome to an episode of Lunch with Mel and David. Hey,
That's right.
Where's your
first
lunch?
one.
I think I got a little lunch on my sweater here, but
What did you eat? What'd you eat, David?
a healthy salad, of course.
A salad.
The title that we decided on, staying positive
Right,
when you're surrounded
right.
by negative. If you're going to be positive, you got to be positive about everything.
You got to play the part, right?
So don't be hating on me and my salad, is what I'm saying.
I'm not hating on your salad. You know what I wolfed down? I had this beautiful 3-egg omelet with my turkey and spinach mixture in it. Awesome. High protein, low carb. Good stuff. Feeding the body well. There
Some
you
of
go.
us can't afford to have a personal chef like you celebrities, so sorry.
Yeah, well.
I swing by the taco truck, right? That's about as highbrow as I get. So
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to dive into this. We're recording it now.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
let's address the question at hand. I mean, you and I were talking about having a lunch and learn, or whatever we want to call this, but it's sharing how to stay positive. And the reason I brought that up is the first thing that hit me because I'm just surrounded by negative. I've got friends, family, and total strangers in social media just having a tough time with what's going on right now. And I'm not. I mean, I'm concerned, but I can still put a smile on my face. I want to talk about that a little bit. And I want to see, first of all, how are you feeling, Mel Martin? Are you feeling positive right now?
I feel superb. I do. And it's funny, if you take inventory of this entire situation that's happening, right? We have now turned the corner and we have pivoted into, look, get over it now. Okay, we're home now. The first few days I was like, oh my God, got to stay home. Oh, cool. That's a license to have all the snacks I want to have and sleep in and watch all the movies. Well, guess what? We're like into the, what are we, in the 2.5 week now? Man, there's no more story. There isn't, right? It's all about adapting. And the number one thing that a person needs to do is understand that they are extraordinary no matter where they are, whether they're at 80% of their time at work or now 95% of their time at home, right? Whatever you think and especially speak life into, that's what's happening for you. And whatever negativity is happening around you has got nothing to do with you. Nothing. And to your point, you feel awesome. Everybody around you, all they're doing is talking garbage and blah, this, whoa, that, blah, blah. Really? I see you're walking your dog, you're running, you're bike riding, what are you going to do? Who are you at this time?
Well, there's nothing a miserable person loves more than to make you miserable too. Something about that misery loves company. And I get that. Hey, join in now. I'm going to rant and I want everybody else I'm preaching to my choir and I want them all to join in and start bashing this, complaining about that. And to me, I just find that takes a lot of energy. That whole, worry, negativity, anger, ranting, there's energy behind that could be put to better use, don't you think?
Unfortunately, this entire COVID-19 event is just a catalyst to spark and fuel the already bad story they got inside of them, right? This did not create the negativity. It just fueled whatever somebody already has in their mind. That's what it did. I get it. Life came to a screeching halt. There's massive inconvenience going on. If you are one of those people that are stuck at home, thank your lucky stars that you are safe at home.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, thank your lucky stars that you are safe at home and that you can, be in the comforts of your own environment, around your family, around your children. You're able to, work still. You're able to go into the network at work, or if you just can't work, then you can't work. Now, there's a flip side to that. I get it. The flip side is, hey, we're not going to be able to get paid because I trade hours for dollars in a job that I have. Understood. Not dismissing that or discrediting that at all. But at the same time, don't compound that problem by stacking on more of a story on top of yourself and then speaking negatively about it, because it's going to come back to you. The universe is listening and watching right now, don't you think?
Well, yeah, and you keep using the word story, which implies that you could change the story too if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, every day you can rewrite the story. I just saw a little graphic today that it doesn't matter what point you are. If you have to restart every day, then restart every day. Don't forget how far you've come. And I read this great quote recently by Elon Musk. I'd rather be an optimist who's wrong than a pessimist who's right. Oh my God, that landed for me so hard. The moment I heard that, I saw my entire professional life just fast forward in front of me. Like, yes, I've developed myself into a risk taker. I've made a lot of mistakes, but you know what? I always try. And for anybody who understands that statement of, I'd rather be an optimist who's wrong than a pessimist who's right. Think of all the things that are arriving to you right now because you're willing to be an optimist, not positive, but optimistic, choosing that despite the situation, you are going to remain optimistic with a bright light, right? You choose to be the light instead of the darkness.
So we have a choice on the story. And when you say story, I think of the news. I'm just going to get right down into some practical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've got friends that will get up in the morning, get their coffee, turn on whatever 24-hour news channel that they watch, and they get sucked in for 3 hours. 3 hours!
That's a long time.
My friend, I won't mention their name, I said, that's a lot of energy you could have put towards something else. And I'm telling you, these people make their money off the worst case scenario. It's so fear-based now, and you could get your news in about 5 minutes reading it versus listening to the broadcast that goes on and on and on, and they keep trying to bait you into more and more fear because they make money off of your eyeballs. So don't give them your eyeballs. I'm trying to get people to detox from that.
Yeah, it's, and let's face it, we have all this extra time right now. If you're at home, okay, again, if you're at home, you have all this time that you've been complaining that you didn't have before, right? So why would you not want to invest in yourself at this time? What are you filling your mind with? Are you reading? Are you listening to any audiobooks? Are you practicing any type of thing that's going to help you and something that you've always wanted to try before, like maybe meditation or Tai Chi or just something, right? Some stretching, some yoga. All of that is accessible to you through the internet. You don't literally have to walk out your home, right? People are very creative right now. They're having Zoom friend meetings, right? Just to, hang out. It's pretty awesome. Everything is accessible to you right now. Can you just imagine if this was 90 or 85 or whatever, when we were in high school, and this was happening at that time?
When were you in high school?
I graduated in 84.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. But I think back as teenagers, heck, I didn't even get my first pager until I was probably 25 years old, And then the whole Motorola clunky, big old, analog cell phone, right? I mean, today's world is small. Having traveled back and forth Europe over the last three years, consistently, I have discovered that the world is really small. It's not that big. It is, so anything you need, anything you want to explore right now, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so cool. You're confined into your own confines, and it feels like the walls are caving in on you. But that was a week ago. Get over it. Figure it out.
Well, I like what you said before about work on yourself. Like that's something you can do now. And to me, I call that preparing for the rebound, because there will be a rebound. Right? Anytime you've gone through these national disasters, everything from 9/11 to hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, and there's always that cyclical nature. So if you're forced to, like, you're not able to work, well, get ready for the rebound, right? What can you create content? Can you learn? Can you build relationships? All those things you can do now that are very extremely productive that will pay off later. But that takes a little bit of patience, doesn't it? I mean, that's an emotional decision there too, because you've got a lot of negative around right now.
Well, the creative energy is now available to you. You have all this abundance of time. And if you ever wanted to take up a hobby, something that you can be creative at your own home, whether it's some sort of artwork, gardening in your yard, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing about stories, right? Number one, I always challenge people, and I challenge myself a lot on this, which is when you think of something that you can't do or shouldn't do, or anything that has a negative connotation in it, there are three things you must say to yourself. Number one is that true? Right? Is that really true? Number two, how do I really know that's true? Okay, there's 4 questions. Number three, number three, who am I in it? Right? How am I acting in it? And number four, how do I rewrite the story so I can be a better version of myself in it? That takes a lot of, I don't know, that takes a lot of awareness and presence to do it, a lot of dedication to do it. But if you think about it, if you're in that lane all the time of woe's me, why's me, and the world sucks, and you don't choose a lane where, okay, it's happening, but who am I in it? It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not going to take ownership of all that energy. Just think about that lane that you're in now and what wants to be in that lane with you, right? If you're going to really maximize the law of attraction, which is more than just, I want this and it's going to arrive. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. You must absolutely think, feel, hear, taste, touch, all of the textures of that experience that you want. More importantly, who are you in the experience and what are you going to contribute to it and give to it so you'll receive it? And how do you prepare for that? What actions are you going to follow through? What specific actions are you going to do to make sure that happens? Now that is real development. And on top of that, don't hope that it's going to happen. Have faith that it's going to happen over and over and over. I can't stand that whole fake it till you make it. Every day I faith it until I make it, even
I like that.
in my darkest and worst moods or worst, moments. Your faith is all you have sometimes. That's why hope is great. I'm not saying it's negative, but if you're going to hang your whole life on hope, wow, that's not being proactive. Have faith and move forward, right? Have the gumption to move forward, and no matter how hard it is, because at the end of it, who are you going to be at the end of it?
Mm-hmm. I've got another analogy for you. This has helped me in troubled times when I was going through storms in my life that I couldn't go around. Like I couldn't sail around it. I had to sail through it. And I had a good friend, a coach, actually mentioned this to me, and it really stuck. She said, David, you just got to do your best to fly above the storm. Someone who's a pilot of a plane, if you can get above the storm, and go, you're going through it, but you can look down and have enough, stability and just kind of take a deep breath. I'm okay. I'm still in danger, but that allows you that higher level thinking that you're talking about, I think, because you're saying even to stop and take a breath and ask yourself those questions. How do I do that if I'm in an emotional, maelstrom, or I'm surrounded by people that are all downers, man? I mean, how do you agree?
Yes, absolutely. So, and I love that analogy of flying above, because there's a simple practice that you can do. You don't even need to be an executive coach like you or I or anything like that. This is just plain humanity, right? Number one, it has nothing to do with you. I mentioned that earlier, right? You have to make a conscious decision and awareness that, wait a minute, I'm not fueling all these problems around me. I just happen to be along for the ride. So let's pump the brakes, stop the ride, right? As I'm looking around the forest and all I see are trees and I can't see through the forest. Let me just pump the brakes. Let me kind of fly above it and take a bird's eye view, right? We've all played checkers. We've all played chess. We've all played Monopoly. You look at the board. You're not on the board. You're looking over the board so you can make decisions. Mm-hmm. You're assessing, right? So if you have to do this 2-3 times a day, just so it becomes a best practice, please do. Taking a bird's eye view by pumping the brakes, looking over the landscape of your life. Number one, who are you in each situation? Second, who's in this life with you, right? How are you addressing each other, right? And how useful are they? What are you getting out of it? Reciprocatingly, is that even a word? What are you getting out of it between the two of you, or whatever entity that you're dealing with? And what are you going to do about it, right? It's got nothing to do with you. And that's why it's so important to pump the brakes. When we're in it, all feel, right? But at the same time, you're the one in charge. You're the one driving the ship. There's no reason why you can't stop. We do it all the time. We go to sleep, we pray, whatever, right? And then next thing you know, we're jumping out back on the ride and doom and gloom. No, I'm not asking you to be oblivious. No, I'm just asking you to keep moving forward with strength and clarity and really understanding who you are in it and why do you need to be in it. what are you going to focus and use the energies that you have towards what you really want, right? Because there are people depending on you. You're depending on you. You're inspiring others, whether you want to accept that or not. But your energy is your chosen energy. You are the source of your destination in your own journey. So you got to pick who you're going to be in it and what kind of fuel you're going to drive with.
Nice. Well, I want to get real practical again here.
Hey man, you asked the question, dude.
I know. I love it. Oh, I love it. I'm saying, and I'm the same. I'm that annoying guy, that the morning person, right? People don't want happy in the morning. They want to have their time to, grumble and complain and get a slow start. I'm like, no, man, let's go. But here's the practical question. So when you are in an interaction, maybe it's in a meeting or a social media conversation or a gathering with your family, and you're surrounded by all the negative comments, what kind of questions can you ask, or what can you do to steer it a different way? Because sometimes if you come across like Pollyanna, like, oh, you're just always happy, that's because you're oblivious, you're ignorant. What are good questions to ask other people to disrupt that pattern?
Never ask a yes or no question. Ever.
Keep it open-ended.
Never keep it open-ended. Like if somebody is just having a crappy mood or it's predictable, you just know it's Debbie Downer coming up, right? And you're thinking, oh my God, I'm trying to reinvent myself here and I got to run into this person. First of all, I'd be asking myself, do I really need this person in my life? Right? Okay. I'd really be taking inventory of that. Outside of them being a family member, which is a completely different kind of boundary you would set. If they are a non-family member and they predictably, and they're going to be negative every time, I would be seriously questioning why you have them in your life. I seriously would, right? Next step would be Debbie Downer, or, what's a male version of that? I don't know. What's a male version of?
Davy Downer.
Davy Downer. There you go. Davy Downer, right?
That's me.
No, it's not you.
I'm puppy upper.
You and I wouldn't hang out together. You wouldn't be in my circle, nor would I be in yours if that was the case, right? So again, I would ask Davy or Debbie Downer. So look, you know what? I got to be honest with you. Every time I see you, life sucks. And it's sucking the energy right out of me, sucking the life out of me. I know that hurts to hear, but I wouldn't be a really good friend to you if I wasn't truthful to you. And I'm trying to reinvent my life, and I want to surround myself with energy and people who are like-minded. Is that fair? Yeah, that's a yes or no question. Scratch that. I would definitely ask. So let me ask you something, Dave. If everything was really great and it was really the way you wanted it to, what would it look like? Mm-hmm. What would you be doing? What job would you have? Where would you live? I mean, with no limitations, no conditions, well, I'd like to do that, but no, none of that, right? Now that could be a really fun conversation. And you could do that again and again and again. If Debbie or Davy Downer doesn't want to engage in that, and they by default end up disappearing anyway, they did you a favor. If they're engaging in it and they're looking forward to it, and you say, and you expand on certain things with the simple question of, so what would it look like if we did this? Can you imagine if we could do that? Again, the world's really small. What's the number one thing people talk about outside of a bigger home, $1 million, and a nicer car? Travel. Mm-hmm. Travel. God, where would you want to be right now? Would you want to feel the soft water hitting your, the waves hitting your toes and the sand in Bali? Would you want to be looking up at the Eiffel Tower having a romantic dinner? Would you want to be in Iceland looking at the lakes out there? I don't know. It's more than just the pictures. You can literally go there if that's what you want to do. And I know everyone watching this has traveled before, mm-hmm. right? It doesn't have to be a special event in your life like, oh, I finally earned it. No, you simply can plan it. I know people who have humble means that live great traveling lives because they manage their money well. They lead their money. They have a great relationship with money, and they figure out a way where that experience can be part of their lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Right? So moving forward, instead of a return on income or investment, it should be return on lifestyle. If you're going to do something to rewrite your story, just remember you're rewriting it so that your ROL becomes higher. It trends higher. And if Debbie and Davy Downer aren't down for that, literally, say goodbye. Have the strength to say goodbye. You do it one time, I guarantee you'll be able to do it 2 to 10 more times. Easy.
Yeah, my ROL is more like a ROFL. So
What does F stand for? Flag nog?
rolling on the floor, I don't know. So I'll tell you what I think you're talking about is the importance of visualization. Being
Oh,
able
yeah.
to see that there may be some hard work to get through the storm, to get through the troubled times, but that it's worth it. And you're preparing for a rebound. You're looking past the current environment. And if you can see that little finish line or that starting line clearly, then it helps you get through the day to day and be able to be positive and think about the silver linings and the bright side. And I coach a lot of people just like you do. And I love coaching clients that come to me, say, I need some help. And then they have all these ready-made excuses, right? Just one after the other that they've rationalized and figured out how to not improve their current situation. But I love to ask them this question. So, well, what if it did work? Right? What if you did find some little piece of advice or magic that got you past that? Just like you said, what would that feel like? And then they start, well, yeah, but don't you see, I got this bad knee, right? So, no. What if there's a medical miracle? Just go with me for a second. And you got to get them out of their programming. That's like you said, it's a story they've been telling themselves for so long. It's in the book. It's printed, published, and I'm sorry I can't change it. And that's a shame because people that can't get past that are going to be stuck.
I love that you pointed that out because from my own physical experience, as you know, I've been a professional strength and conditioning coach for well over 3 decades, in that I have my own stories. I've gone through my own injuries, and I told myself a long time ago, oh, I can't do that movement anymore, or I can't do that exercise anymore. I can't do that activity anymore. In the last couple of years, I started chipping away at those stories. And I'm able to do things now better than I did before, notwithstanding any of those injuries that are far gone already. So in your statement of how would that feel, or what would it feel like? Initially, if a person has a hard time with visualization because it's too small, right? The story is blocking them from seeing it in their mind. The next level would be God, I had this all planned out to tell you. Feelization. I don't know. We're trying to.
You just make up your own words.
We're gonna invent vocabulary here, right? Feelingization. There you go. A feelingization, right? So if visualization is just seeing it in your mind's eye, right? Feelingization is using all of your senses to translate that visual that you want into a reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it, right? If you closed your eyes and really thought about feeling the wind in Maui as it's hitting your face, and you inhale it and all the toxins come out of your body as you exhale, you can literally feel that if you just relax and focus on it. You don't have to think so hard. Don't be tense, right? That's one way of kind of getting away from your story and getting out of your own story. Everybody has a ding and a nick and a knack in their body that makes them feel, oh, I can't do that. Again, I'm not dismissing or discrediting anybody's injuries or whatnot, right? Again, is that really true? And can you find a way to work around that? Find a way to work around that to elevate yourself to the next level, right? What's the classic line? Oh, I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to do that. Make time. Make time.
Putting your time into something.
You got all this time right now.
No excuse now. I know you're at home.
You're at home. Well, you can literally YouTube home exercises and try everything you've never wanted to try. Try it. Yeah, there's nothing you can't YouTube that's going to be instructional. Seriously, I do it all the time. Like, oh, God, I want to do this and da-da-da. Well, let's figure it out. Let's find out. You don't got to sign up for no certification course or buy this or buy that. Someone out there had the kindness enough to share the information to add value to the world. Once you learn it and you like it and you love it and it's part of your lifestyle, well, guess what? You're going to add value to someone else by default because you're going to run into someone you want to share that with, because you're going to be in a conversation where they're complaining about something. You go, wait a minute, I've been doing this and da-da-da. You should try this. Now you're paying it forward. That's living in the universe. That's being a contributor in the universe, in my opinion.
Wow, that's going to be almost the last word. Because, and I could talk to you all day, but there's time.
We'll be here till next Tuesday.
there's time limits on what you can upload into LinkedIn and Facebook. So I'm going to wrap.
Okay.
We're already past 10 minutes, but so Mel, if you had to net it out and gave one big takeaway for those folks who might be stuck, they might be surrounded by negative, they might be having a hard time finding a way to be positive, what would be your takeaway? 30 seconds or less.
You got to work on your core. I'm not talking physical. When you wake up in the morning, the first words out of your mouth should be thank you and I love you. Start with that. And if you did that for 365 mornings, right? Or what are we in now? April? What's that? 8 more months, right? 8 more months of that. If you did that every day, and that was the foundation of what you lived by, everything will fall into place. And whatever you do, just keep moving forward. And if you fall, damn it, stand up and keep moving forward. You can rewrite literally every sentence and every word of your story the way you want it to. If you can just believe that, whatever you want that's supposed to be there will come along for the ride. If you don't, the same story will stay. That's it.
Well, I'm going to add one thing to that, and that is if
Please
you
do.
find yourself unable to do that, I got 3 words. Ask for help. You
Yes.
pray to God, you find a coach, you find a friend, you find somebody that's been through it and survived it. That's the person you want to ask advice from. And I know lots of folks who have turned things around and so many amazing stories. And we'll share this. I think, Mel, we're going to have to do another series here because there's so many things I want to talk to you about.
Absolutely. Once a week.
I want to thank the guests for joining us. And there's I asked for questions, said, nope, no questions. This is fantastic. All righty then. so thanks.
Sounds good.
And we appreciate you joining us. And we'll come back for another lunch with Mel and David. How about next Thursday? We'll figure out the Facebook thing. What the heck?
Faith it till you make it. Much love, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.